Hey everybody, welcome to another Truth and Conviction live stream. I'm Matt Whitaker, and here with my two incredible partners, Russ Kendall, John Foss, and we are not in the Angel Studios live stream studio. We are actually greeting you from Hamburg, Germany. This is the city where Helmut and Carl and Rudy were born and raised, and where they did their resistance efforts, and a lot happened here. So,
in fact, we're on Helmuth Hübener Gang.
This is Helmut Hübener Gang, which our German-speaking friends say means Helmut Hübener Way. It's this little street that they've named after Helmut Hübener. And you can see behind us, maybe a little bit, there's a beautiful mural that's been painted and put here in their honor. We're going to talk more about that in just a little bit. But we do have a big announcement to make first. I think I teased you about this last week, that there was going to be a big announcement, and then I don't think I gave them a big announcement. So we have a big announcement. We wanted to do it here from Hamburg. We wanted to make this announcement from where it all happened. So John, you want to share what the announcement is?
Sure, absolutely. You know, several weeks ago we started this whole campaign to let everybody know about the series. You could go to angel.com/truth. You were able to express interest. And over these many weeks, we've been able to see the comments that have come in, everybody commenting not only that they think this idea is great, but that they want to see the series. They've expressed their interest. Thousands of people, to the tune of over $6 million worth, right?
Yeah.
And that's brought us to this point where we feel very confident that now we can open up the campaign. It is now open for investment. All of you who are interested in watching this series, wanting it to become something that you can share with friends and family, that you can watch with your family, now's the time where you can go to angel.com/truth and invest in the project. And we're so excited to be here at that point. We're so excited to be here in Hamburg to announce that together with the whole team. So if you haven't yet, you can go to angel.com/truth. It's a new layout to that landing page, right?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. If you've been to angel.com/truth already, it was already really cool. You could kind of learn a lot more about the project, but now it's like new, improved. It's the angel.com/truth on steroids. But as you were saying, important to us is that when you went there before, there was this little button that said express interest, and now that button's going to say something like invest. To invest in this project, click here. And so all of you who have already expressed interest, you can go back there and make it real, in a sense, I guess.
What that means is that when you do that, when you go in and you visit angel.com/truth and you invest in the project, you become partners with us. Not only in just supporting the story, but you become partners with us in making the series as it lives on beyond when we release it next year. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
The end in mind is that we will be shooting this series next summer, and that by this time next year we'll be able to have something to watch together and enjoy together.
So
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. So again, thanks to all of you who expressed interest. Again, there were thousands of people, many thousands, who said, "Yep, we love this project. We think this is a story that needs to be told," and so you let us know in that way. And I don't know, it's just I've over the last couple of months I've been saying so many times we're getting close. Yeah. We're getting close to the point where the analytics line up, and where we know that we can say, okay, now this project is mature enough. Enough of you have expressed interest that we know. We're so confident we're going to be successful in being able to raise the investment money that's necessary, and like you said, John, just go and make this movie.
Yeah. Well, it's been great to, like John was saying, to read the comments and to read, the thousands of voices of support, saying that we need this story. My kids need this, my grandkids need this. And, that's been encouraging, not just the pledge, monetary pledges,
right,
but that, from a mission standpoint, we need this type of story.
Right.
Yeah.
Now.
Even a couple comments that for us mean something special. We would get comments from people who would say, Rudy Voba was my uncle. Or Helmut's older brother, Gerhard, who brought home the illegal shortwave radio that opened up these doors for Helmut. That Gerhard, that's my grandfather, and so I'm so grateful you're telling this. Somebody's finally telling the story. Those kind of comments too from people who, it was their family, their family members who were involved in this. So, so anyway, just a great thing to be able to finally be at this point where the investment is live.
Yes, so
And,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks to everybody. And again, go check it out, angel.com/truth, and let's get this party started in earnest. Let's see. Next thing we were gonna. Oh, I forgot to talk about. You may have noticed we're all wearing the same shirts. We're coordinated today.
That's right, color coordinated.
There is a reason
coordinated.
for that. The whole reason that we're here this week and we're here all week. We're going to be in Germany all week. The reason that we're here is that on the 27th of October in 1942, that's 80 years ago, this Thursday, is when Helmuth Hübener was executed in a little prison execution chamber outside of Berlin, and that was the date. And the German government is holding a memorial service in remembrance of Helmut, and it was super important for us to be there to remember. And so that's why we're wearing these shirts, and it's the reason that we're here all week. And we just thought it would be just a really cool thing to kind of walk in Helmut's footsteps, in a sense, this week, and to come back to the places where he and his friends lived. We were talking about this earlier, that we talk about people who are, who do heroic things, and we remember them, but sometimes I think it's easy to forget that they were real people. And Helmut woke up in the morning and he had breakfast, and when he was a kid he went to school, so we're going to go visit where he went to school this week, and of course we'll share those on our social posts and everything. You get to see that. His school, because of what he did when he was 16 and 17, his school is now named after him. So we're going to go visit that this week. We're going to go to the place where he worked for the Nazis in the government, where he got his papers, his canvas, if you will, for his work, was borrowed from the government office where he worked. We're going to go visit there, to that place where he was arrested, because he was arrested at work. So all of those places, but all of that is, again, leading up to Thursday in Berlin at the site of his execution, which is now a national memorial. And we will be there to remember.
And to your point, what we're doing here in Hamburg, there's a lot of things around town, like you said, that we're going to visit that memorialize Helmut, this being one of them. I love, you've probably already heard children in the background. And this mural here is painted right behind a school, an elementary school. And I love that it's positioned here because it gives these kids a reminder that they can do courageous and brave things. And it's right here, it's something that they can enjoy. Like already this morning, we've just seen families and children walking up and down this street. And what we heard about this street, years ago, this was probably a more dangerous street, but since they, I guess, memorialized it in Helmut's name, it's become something that's safe, where families and children can enjoy it. Did you get the same thing? Did you hear the same thing? Yeah, so it's pretty
gone from a
remarkable.
place of violence to a place of, just, it's peaceful here, really.
Yeah. Even as we've been here this morning and today, just getting set up to do this and everything, it's been so cool to see just families, parents and their children, walking along. I don't know if they consciously are thinking they're walking along Helmut Hübener way, but we are. we're noticing it, that it's just, again, it's a place, and they're walking again right past this elementary school, which I'm sure wasn't here when Helmut was here. It looks much newer than that, but here are these little kids, and again, you can hear them. And
it's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it, but just above in the trees there's of course the mural of Helmut, Karl, and Rudy, and then above that to the left there's a picture or a painting of Helmut's congregation where he went to church. And then to the right is a letter. Matt, what were you saying about that letter?
Yeah, so that was the notice that came telling them when they were after they'd been arrested, when they were going to be going to Berlin to be on trial, you know, in Hitler's highest court, in the People's Court in Berlin. So that there's a painting or a replica of that letter that came to them stating when they were going to be there, who the judges were going to be.
I mean, just think about that choice though, when as they're thinking about creating this mural, they could have put anything up there. You know, they decided to put, of course, the hero shot of these three, the congregation, all the people who knew Helmut, but then also this letter, which I think brings just the reality of what Helmut did, what he sacrificed just to life, right? It's a great reminder.
Yeah, I remember Carl telling me when he received that letter and read it and read where they were going to court and read who the judges were, and I think the way he said to me was, "I didn't give nothing for our lives," meaning
He knew it was over.
He had this sense that, boy, this is all of a sudden this is far worse than we thought it was going to be. So
Amazing.
Anyway, it's just it's so cool. You know, we flew in yesterday and drove here today, and just to, you know, this is a modern city now, of course. You know, it's a big city. Hamburg's a huge port town.
Well, it was leveled pretty much in '43
That's
during
right.
World War II. And,
That's right. That's right.
you know, so it's a lot of it's different, but this is the space.
Yeah. This is the space, and there's something, I don't know, there's just something really cool and really important about that. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what else I wanted to talk about. Okay, so last week, I think a couple weeks ago, listen to that first. We are in Europe.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like Born
So
Identity.
distinct. Yeah.
Did you guys hear the sirens?
There it is again.
There it is, man. Oh man, that's
We're just embracing it. The wind, the kids, the sirens, everything.
that's right. It's Europe.
It's the full experience.
A couple weeks ago, we announced the beginning of our lifeliner initiative for Truth and Conviction, and we've been inviting everybody to send in just a little 1 or 2 minute on your phones, just a little video of you sharing with us and nominating someone who, for you, is a lifeliner. And again, just a reminder, what we mean by that is somebody who that either you may know them personally or somebody that you know about who has extended a lifeline of help to someone else. Of course, you know, for us, Helmut is someone like that because he found the truth and decided that he had to share it, that it was crucial that he share it. And so that was part of his lifeline that he could extend, was risking his life and eventually giving his life to be able to do that. But not all examples are that dramatic. You know, we love that, but also just someone who extends a hand of friendship to to somebody else who maybe doesn't have a lot of friends. Or
Can I share one?
Please.
A story came to mind just as an example. Years ago, I was just doing my grandmother passed away on my dad's side, and I was just doing some research on their lives, and I found this article online. I just, through Google, of course, and it was this old newspaper article that told the story about this heroism from my grandparents. There was a picture of my grandfather and my grandmother sitting on a couch. And the article went on to explain that they were, at the time, my grandfather's father lived in Mullen, Idaho. My grandparents went to go visit him. And then they left. They were going back home, I think to California is where they were going. But my grandmother had forgotten her wallet. And so they were like, oh, let's go back and see if we can find it at your dad's house. So they turned around and went back to go find her wallet. But on the way, if you can imagine these winding roads through these mountains in Mullen, Idaho, they came upon a house up on the hill that was on fire. And they drove up to it. My grandfather got out, and there were people screaming inside. And this is a true story. It's all in this article. And my grandfather went inside and saved a couple of the children. He wasn't able to save everybody, but he was able to save a few. And I didn't know that. My dad didn't even know that. It was something through Google search. But as you talk about a lifeliner, you know, somebody who's willing to put their life on the line, you know, to go save somebody else, that's something that just came to my mind. That was my grandfather, John Marcus Foss. He was also a World War II glider pilot, like your father was a bomber pilot. But anyway, that's just someone who came to mind as an example of what a lifeliner could be.
I love that,
That's
man.
great.
Yeah. So you know somebody, we all know somebody. We think, yeah, I think of that person as a lifeliner, whether it's in my own life or your grandfather who saved somebody else. Those children that he saved, who knows, but probably went on to have their own families that wouldn't have happened if
I hope so.
he hadn't rushed into the burning building. So if you want to submit those, just shoot them and post it to your socials, but just hashtag. I got to get this right. Hashtag lifeliner, but tag. That's right. Tag truth and conviction. Truth ampersand conviction. Is that right? Yes. Esther, I'm talking to Esther. Esther and John, by the way, who are behind the cameras, are here with us in Europe as well and helping us to do these. So tag truth and conviction.
Hashtag lifeliner.
You guys know this better than I do.
You're doing great.
I always feel about 10 years older even than I am whenever I start trying to ask people to tag and hashtag things. So tag truth ampersand conviction and then hashtag lifeliner with that. And then, of course, we'll find it. And what we're going to do, and this is the whole reason I brought this up is because there's a really cool thing that we're going to be doing in the next couple weeks where we're going to be doing a live stream really kind of all about lifeliners and recognizing those of you who've sent them in and even being able to show some of those that have been sent in. But we also are going to have a really cool special guest on that one. And Russ, do you want to just talk about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a real honor to have a good friend of ours, John Andrasik of the band Fight for Fighting. John is somebody that is not only just an incredible musician, he's an amazing human being, and hasn't just rested upon his celebrity and just he uses it for good. He takes a stand. He uses his music for change, for activism, and he's been heavily involved with supporting our troops, involved with commemorations for 9/11, and has used his music for change. And he's going to join us. And talk, and we're going to talk together about the power of music, the power of standing together, and we're going to, he's going to share experiences he's had. He's had opportunities to go to the Ukraine a few months ago and celebrate, Zelensky and how he's taking a stand. And
He even wrote a song for
he wrote
Zelensky.
a song about Zelensky called "Can One Man Change the World?" And I mean, that's what we're talking about here. Can one 16-year-old young man change the world?
Right.
And the answer is yes. Can change it, first individually in our hearts, and then from there it ripples out. And so John's going to be with us, and it's going to be really, really wonderful. If you're not familiar with John Andrasik and Fight for Fighting, songs like Superman and 100 Years, The Riddle, has just written some songs that have just become part of the fabric of the collective, which is very cool.
And Russ knows I'm going to try not to be starstruck. He's there, but Russ is close friends with him, and I've met him, but I'm still trying to, because those songs, if you haven't listened to it, listen to Superman. Again, Fight for Fighting is the name of his band.
Right.
Superman.
100 Years.
100 Years, man. The Riddle's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They all, if you go back and listen to the lyrics for The Riddle and talk about just it's about a family. It's about a man and his child. And anyway, so excited to have John and Fight for Fighting joining us and really joining this team. That's been the really cool thing, with the piano guys coming on board and teaming up with us, and Fight for Fighting and others, that now that there's so much good momentum that's happening, and it's just really cool to see people that I get starstruck around that are coming to us and saying, "Oh man, we love this project. We love what you. Yeah, we want to be involved. We love this." So, so in the next couple of weeks,
next couple of weeks, yeah, we're working on that date, but yeah, he'll be joining us. And one thing that, and we've talked about it a little bit on the live streams, and I think we'll explore it more with piano guys, is just how music has been kind of a key element, and it was a key element in Helmut's life. He was very inspired by Mendelssohn and other composers, And you know, music is, you know, we're all not fans of music, but music has that power to touch and change and inspire. And that's just kind of a common theme that's, you know, in the film or in the TV series.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting that we have the piano guys and John Ondrasik and these music-related individuals coming and joining us. And I can't not say where we are, being in Hamburg.
Right, of
you
course,
know,
of course.
I'm gonna wait for this truck.
It's a cool thing to
You
recognize.
can't see it, but the garbage truck that goes by, it's a Mercedes. Again, that's Europe.
So, you know, one of the things Hamburg is known for is the Beatles. This is where the Beatles came for 2 years prior to their great success, and they honed their craft, and it was here in Hamburg. So, you know, an amazing city. There's just a music theme here.
Yeah.
And music was, you know, core to Helmut and to Carl from, you know, what he shared with us.
It's interesting too, when you're talking about Mendelssohn, and of course, and we've talked about this before, and we will talk about it some more, that Mendelssohn as a band Jewish composer that Helmut loved, and that we believe that there's evidence that Salomon, his Jewish friend, is the one who introduced Mendelssohn to Helmut, and that Helmut introduced it to Carl.
Yeah.
Carl introduced it to us, and now we love Mendelssohn, and so there's this thread, this connection back. But it's also cool that Mendelssohn was born and raised in Hamburg. You know,
cool.
when he was 16, he was writing his this unbelievable octet.
Genius.
So he was a genius.
Yeah.
But anyway, just these connections to where we are, you know, right now, it's just incredible.
And I love also that in the series, Helmut, you write that Helmut recognizes that like Mendelssohn was able to do this at 16, I can do something at my age that makes a difference.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, that's the thing. We all can make a difference, and it's just finding what that gift is that we've been given.
Yeah.
You know, it could just even be in a friend to somebody. It could be having the power of the written word.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
But we all can do that.
Yeah, what is our instrument?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, I've referred to in the past to Helmut picking up the only weapon he knew, which was the typewriter. You know, that was his weapon of choice. But maybe a better way to look at that, it was his instrument. That's what he played. You know, I don't know that he played the piano or the violin or anything like that, but man, he knew how to play a typewriter. He played a mean typewriter, and we've got the flyers to prove it. But can I bring it back around to
Bring it home.
to Thursday?
Sure.
Again, as we mentioned just a few minutes ago, really, as we're walking in Helmut's footsteps here in Hamburg, and then we will be heading up to Berlin, because after they were arrested, of course, they were held here, you know, interrogated by the Gestapo here, but that court date that they received, that's painted now as part of this mural, where they went to Berlin, and then Helmut that's where he was sentenced to death. He was held in a prison there called Plötzensee, and so we'll be going up to that place on Thursday, and taking once again taking part in that memorial service, and it's just such an important thing. So grateful to be here, and want to invite everybody to try and mark your calendars for this Thursday, the 27th of October at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Let you figure out from where you are there to tune in to watch that. It'll be a little bit of a different live stream even than this one. This is new for us, just hanging out here, standing on a street, standing on Helmut Hübener Gang in Hamburg. But I think it's going to be actually very reverent and kind of a tender experience, being there just outside of the place where Helmut was executed, and being able to share more about that on this Thursday. So I would invite everybody to tune in then. If you haven't had a chance yet, again, go check out the angel.com/truth. As John announced earlier, the investment's live, so we are good to go. And just want everybody. Anything else from you guys?
Again, you know, just reiterating our gratitude. Thank you to everyone who's expressed interest in the series. We're just so thrilled to be at this point where now we can start gathering everybody together and be partners together in making this series. So yes, go to angel.com/truth, invest, and let's go tell a fantastic story together.
Let's do it.
Amen, brother. Thanks, guys. We will see you on Thursday.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.